Each BDI machine requires 4 inches of space on either side for ventilation and 6 inches of space in the back to allow for plumbing. In the case of product dispensing machines, it is best to place the machine within 10 feet of where the product will be stored. Any greater distance than this might result in problems in pumping the product. For convenience, you'll probably want to place your machine near your ice and power sources. Any machine with a drain or water connection must be installed with adequate backflow protection to comply with any health codes you might have. You will want to purchase a 3/4 inch drain line that meets to your health code standards. It is recommended that you use Teflon tape on the threads to prevent leaks. The hose should be long enough to reach from the output on the back of your machine to the facility drain. The machines are rated to operate at 15 amps, 1800 watts. The cords have a standard NEMA 515 plug type on the end, but we do require that you have a 20 amp dedicated circuit for this machine. The water input on the machine requires tubing with a 3/8 inch compression fitting. It is recommended that you use reinforced tubing. Incoming water should have a rating of at least 30 psi in order to operate correctly. The connection between the machine and your product requires bag connectors, or probes, that you should have received from your product suppliers when you bought the product. Any connector that has a 3/8 inch fitting should work well with the machine. Here are some examples of connectors that you might encounter. For each product line, you'll want to cut a length of 3/8 inch tubing, at least 1 foot longer than the distance between the product bag and the machine. Slide a clamp on one end of the tubing and attach it to one of the barbs on the back of the machine. Cinch the clamp tightly and give it a quick tug to reinforce the seal made by the clamp. At this time, create a method to mark the other end of the tubing with the corresponding pump number. You might also find it useful to write this number down somewhere for programming purposes later. Slide a clamp on this end and attach it to one of the probes. Cinch the clamp down and connect it to the bag you want designated to the pump number. Repeat this step for all 8 lines. In situations where alcoholic beverages are served, an alcohol reserve, such as this one, can be used to dispense alcoholic beverages through the machine. Now, different tubing is available for this feature to allow alcohol to pump slower. This special tubing available is internal instead of external like the other product lines. Contact us if you need this feature installed on your machine. When installing the trough, one end of the bottom of the reserve should be plugged, and the other should have a fitting with a 3/8 inch hose barb at a right angle. Connect the tubing to the barb as you did with the product connectors and clamp it tightly. When connecting the pumps, remember to be careful of any kinks in the hose that might result during machine installation. Now is a good time to sanitize and clean the machine for use, as it may have picked up debris from shipping. After all your hardware has been installed correctly and the machine has been cleaned, place a jar in the blending station and fill the ice bin. Turn the machine on. Press and hold the ice button until ice falls in the jar. Press and hold the water button until water dispenses freely in the jar. Press 9, 0, and a pump number, and then go. This should prime the product line. Or you can press the pump number and then hold down the juice button for as long as you need it. Press stop once the product has started to dispense into the machine. Repeat this process for all product lines.